fear is a normal feeling, and it can be healthy, it can be good, but at the same time it can be destructive, unhealthy, and not productive. And we need to be able to have the correct fear. The fear of doing bad, the fear of sin, the fear of relapsing, the fear of overdosing, the fear of ending up in jail, the fear of being in an institution, the fear of doing something that goes against our principles. Those are healthy fears. But then you get bad fears based on jealousy, based on threats, based on selfishness, based on dishonesty, based on self-centeredness, and those are not good fears. If we could look at the disease of addiction, stripped of its primary symptoms, that is, apart from drug use or other compulsive behavior, without its most obvious characteristics, you would find a swamp of self-centered fear. Now, again, let's just make something very clear. It's not the drugs or the gambling or the pornography or the alcoholic that makes you an addict. It is a disease, like they say, that with or without drugs, a human being would have. It can either be, you can be a workaholic, you can be a sexaholic, you can be overeating, it can be anything. And once we strip off your addiction, meaning the things that you were addicted to, the things that made you act in a certain way, that made your life unmanageable, that made you powerless, we need to get to the crux of the matter, and that is your heart, that is your mind, that is your soul. We need to get to what was really the problem, because drugs and alcohol are about a symptom of our disease. So, at the center of it all, like it says here, is self-centered fear. And one of the things that we need to understand of fear, it is the opposite of step 3 and step 2. Because step 3 and step 2 are based on faith in God. And if someone has faith in God, they will not have fear, because the two cannot exist and live in one place. Let me give you an example of what I'm saying. A person that steals. I steal because I don't have faith that if I'm honest, God will provide for me. A person that lies. I lie because I have fear. I don't have faith that God, if I'm honest, God will provide for me. A person that cheats is fearful because I don't have faith that by conducting with integrity and uprightness, I will be provided for. A person that manipulates doesn't believe that by being straight in everything I do, I will be provided for. Therefore, fear is believing that by doing the right thing will not happen to me. Because I don't have faith that by doing what's right, things will work out for me. Therefore, I am ruled by fear. And those fears will make me do immoral, unethical, illegal things, thinking that's the answer to my problems. We are afraid of being hurt. And because we're afraid of being hurt, we tend to hurt others first. And I used to do that a lot. I used to reject people before they reject me. And I used to do this thing where a girl would like me and she'd be very friendly with me and she'd be very nice with me, and I'd think, there's no way a girl like this can like a guy like me. And I would start making a series of events hurting her so that she rejects me, so that I can say, I knew it. There's no way she could have liked me. Not knowing that I sabotaged myself because I had fear that she would reject me. So I was planning on rejecting her first. And because of that, I would hurt her. And I had plenty of girls that didn't want to even see me because that's what I did to them. Maybe of just feeling too intensely. Fear of intimacy. There's a lot of people have that fear. Feelings of intimacy. So we live a sort of half-life, a superficial life, a life that has no substance. Going through the motions of living, but never being fully alive. And people that like to drink and look forward to Friday and Saturday night and to dress fancy and, kind of just live that lifestyle that has no real values and, morals inside of it. Going through the motions. They're the most fearful people that you meet. because they don't want to sit with themselves and be honest with themselves and face their feelings and emotions. Therefore, they want to party and drink and look for the next jewel and look for the next outing and look for the next picnic and look for the next bra and look for the next club and look for the next DJ that's coming in town. Why? Because they're running away from feelings. Because why? They're a bunch of fearful people that don't want to live life and sort their issues out and sort out what's really bothering them. We are afraid of everything that might make us feel, so we isolate and withdraw. And you see that also in a lot of workaholics. What do workaholics do at most? Spend as much time as they can in the office to run away from their feelings of intimacy, or to run away whatever is happening at home, or to run away from whatever is bothering them. So their first response is to run away and to stay at home and to make and amass as much money as possible and to sit in their big fancy houses alone in front of their screen TV and drink their whiskey. That's what workaholics do. And the truth is, they're isolating and withdrawing themselves from the world because they're afraid and they fear to face what's really going on in their life. We're afraid we'll get caught in something and we have to pay a price. So we lie, cheat, hurt others to protect ourselves. We always think that it's either me or the next person. And we're very quick to sacrifice other people to save ourselves. We're very quick to play office politics, to gossip at work, to get other people into trouble, to get other people fired, to get other people kicked out, because we're afraid of them. We have fear, and they pose a threat to our survival. And so we think that by getting rid of them, we place ourselves in a much safer place. And that is the most despicable thing to do, to be threatened by someone else and to fear that if they there, or their presence, or what they do, if they there, it will make you extinct. That is the most pathetic thing to ever feel in life. We are afraid of being alone, so we use and exploit others to avoid feeling lonely, rejected, and abandoned. And we see that most of the time in women. You'll meet a girl, especially still in recovery, she'll break up with John, and then she'll go out with Chris, and then she'll go out with Aaron, and then she'll go out with Michael. And what she's really doing is she just hates being alone. She just hates being single. So she'll go for any guy available, any guy that's there, just anybody, just as long as I am not single and lonely. That is much better than anything else. And that is fear. That is fear-based. Same thing with the guy that doesn't want to be single and say, you know what, I'll go sleep with this prostitute and go to this masseuse parlor and go to this strip club and go on online chatting dates and go on all kinds of things. Anything for me not to be alone, not to be single, not to be alone, because I just hate being alone, because I'm fearful of the feelings I will feel when I'm alone. We need not be cowards. We are afraid we won't have enough of anything, so we selfishly pursue what we want and not caring about the harm we cause in the process. And that's another thing that we see in our culture, in the world today that we're living in. People bulldoze their way in life and do not care who they harm. They want to step on other people and use other people as ladders to get to the top, to get to the deal, to sign the deal. They don't care who they harm, who they hurt. We need to remember that the people that we harm or hurt to get to the top are human beings. They have feelings. They have emotions, and they get hurt. And some of the people that we try to destroy are people that have family, they have kids, they have wives, they have children that they have to feed. And for someone to selfishly pursue and bulldoze and do whatever it takes to get whatever they want at any cost possible, that is very selfish. And a person like that is filled with fear. Because if you had faith, you would understand that God will take care of you. You would understand that God has more than enough for every single human being alive. There is no reason to rob other people, to steal, to cheat, to lie, to manipulate, to play politics, to play office politics, to gossip, to bring other people down, to step on them and to trash on them just for you to get what you want. A person that has faith understands that God provides for everybody, and I don't need to behave like an animal to get what I want, because God takes good care of me. Sometimes if you gain things we care about in recovery, we're afraid we'll lose what we have, and so we begin compromising our principles to protect it. And that happens often in the rooms where you'll meet someone, and I know someone that's in that situation right now where they've met a beautiful girl and they've had kids and they're about to get married, but the girl says, no meetings. Cannot do meetings, I want you home with me. And because he's afraid to lose that girl, he compromises on his recovery to keep what he has. And that's a fatal mistake. That's fear that if I don't do this, I will lose. We need not be people that have fear. We need to have faith that if I do the right thing, if I get myself to a meeting and come back home and be with her, things will work out. If something is meant to be, God will make sure that it be. You do not have to be under threat and under fear to keep something that's a blessing in your life. And a lot of people walk away from the rooms and do not stay in the room because they've met someone that says, I don't want you to go into the rooms. I don't want you to go to that place. Because those people are fearful people and they want to impose their fears on you, the one that's recovering. And sometimes the enabler is fearful that once you recover, they might be in a position, and because you're recovering, you become a threat to them. See, sometimes people want you down, and they want you down because they want to help you come back up. But they really want you down. They don't want you up because them helping you makes them feel better about themselves, because they themselves are fearful people. Enablers are usually fearful people themselves, and they like the addict down because it makes them continue in their victimized mindset. Self-centered, self-seeking fear, we need to uproot it so we no longer have the power to destroy us. Here's the answer to this. Those things that we fear, we need to replace that fear with faith. Faith in place. We need to work on our step 2. We need to work on our step 3 on a daily basis. We need to surrender our will and our lives over to the care of God. See, if I know that God cares about me, there's no reason for me to do anything that goes against him, because his care for me will provide for me. So who or what do I fear, and why? What have I done to cover up my fear? And how have I responded negatively and destructively to my fear? How have I cheated myself because of my fear? Don't cheat yourself of life, of recovery, because of fear.